Hi, welcome back. Let's finish up this rockfall. Now that I have the TZ location for rock 1, I'll want to create a condition statement to check if it is lower than its start position. If it is, we'll trigger physics. If it's not, then we will do nothing. So I'm going to use an if statement. I will write if and then put a condition in parentheses after it. So I'm going to say if rock1 TZ is greater than 7.5. This will check to see if the TZ value we collected is greater than 7.5. If it is, it will execute whatever code we write below. So I'll write physics.init, and you can see that a window pops up. This is a helper window that will show us all of the different physics functions that we can choose from. We want to continue with _physsim and then a pair of parentheses, as that is the function that toggles physics on or off. With our if statement, it will now check to see if the TZ value we captured is greater than 7.5. If it is, it will execute the script to trigger physics. If that condition is not met, it won't do anything. Now, if you only have one line of code for the if statement to execute, then you don't need brackets. However, I should tell you that if you have more than one line of code to execute, you will want to place brackets around the code, one opening bracket just after the if statement, and one closing bracket on the line after your last statement. I'm going to back out of this script and rename it physics. Now that I have a conditional script that is triggering physics, I don't want my trigger to trigger physics. I want my trigger to trigger my script instead, so that it can check to see if the rock is in its start position or not. So in the activate field, in place of the physics script, I'll write activity.run and a pair of parentheses. This function will execute a script. Now in the parentheses, we have to tell it exactly which script to run. So we will use the space.currentScene function again to get the pathway all the way to the current scene. Then we'll add to that pathway /physics to point specifically to the physics script object. So now it will look into the current scene, find the physics object, and activate it. Let's give it a go and see how it works. I'll close the expanded matrix here. I'll select the FP Properties object again and enter FPN mode. Now as I walk near the opening, the rocks should fall down. Indeed they do. The script in the trigger has successfully activated our physics script, and our physics script worked as it should. The rock was in its start position, which was greater than 7.5, so it triggered physics. Now when physics stops, we can test to see if the condition statement is working the way it should. So if I go back into FPN mode here, physics should not trigger again when I get close because the TZ value of the rock is now less than 7.5. And it looks like it's working. Physics is not triggering again. So our script is successful. It only triggers physics when the rock is in its start position. Now I'm going to increase that action radius to 12, I think. That will allow it to trigger a bit further back. I'll also clean up the LE a little bit here. I'll minimize the trigger. I'll organize these scripts a little nicer and reset the rocks. I forgot, we can also now check the invisible checkbox for the trigger now that it's in place and working. I'll also go ahead and delete that recorded macro script now. We don't need that one anymore. So if you meet me in the next chapter, we'll get started making a cool teleportation machine.